Hello, welcome back to Big Fellas. How you doing, Darren? You all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good, Mark. How are you?
Yeah, really good, really good. We've got a really big episode today.
Yeah,
This is by far the biggest loser we've had on the show.
I know, and that's saying something as well, because we had a guy who'd lost about 10 stone, I think.
12 and a half, I think.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So today's episode is set to be a really, really interesting one, good one to listen to.
Yeah, let's take that weight loss and double it, shall we?
Yeah, yeah, brilliant, mate, brilliant. And I love hearing these stories. They're really inspiring. They're really good. And everyone's weight loss journey is different. There'll be people listening to this who are maybe like, a few kilos that they want to lose, and that's fine. But there'll be people that were certainly I was there at some point that have more to lose, and this will be inspiring. So yeah, mate, I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah. But before we get into the story and we invite Lee onto the show, we have a little promo to plug, don't we?
We do, mate. We do. Yeah, Man v Fat. Me and you are on the same team now, Mark, as well, as of this week.
We are.
Brilliant.
We are indeed.
Mate, look, I love Man v Fat. It's great. If you want to lose a bit of weight, you like football, then what better than going down there, playing a game, getting rewarded for weight loss goals and helping your team win the league.
Absolutely. And all you've got to do is on sign up, put Big Fellas into the promo code and you'll get your sign up fee for just £1.
Mate,
Not
that's
bad at all, is it?
Can't even buy half a pint for that.
Exactly. And then you can play football, lose weight and win football matches. And I tell you what, to just link it perfectly, if we had a guy on our team that lost 25 stone, could you think of the weight loss goals there?
Mate, you'd be winning league for years.
Leagues after leagues, yes. The
Yeah.
silverware, you could just imagine it. So without further ado, we're going to bring in a really good loser story today. Lee Ashbourne, a proud loser of over 25 stone. Hello, Lee. How are you doing, mate?
Evening, guys. I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yes, delighted to have you on. 25 stone. No, it's more than 25 stone now, isn't it?
Yeah, 25, 11 and a half. So nearly 26.
Jeez.
Mate, that's brilliant.
So literally double the biggest weight loss story that we've had on the show so far. Not to discredit anyone that's been on before, but this is something else. Now,
Mark, just for our American listeners, what's that in pounds, mate? Do you know, roughly? That's got to be...
No idea.
I can find out for you.
Put you on the spot. But
I'm going to get my calculator out and I'll work it out right now.
Yeah, because 25 stone is... that.
And it's £14 to a stone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy. That is a significant amount of weight. At my heaviest, I was under 25 stone.
Right.
Yeah.
For the American listeners out there, £361 this gentleman has lost.
Brilliant.
Just to...
Yeah, when you say it like that.
That's insane, isn't it? Wow. I mean...
Yeah.
So tell us what was your starting weight then, Lee? So let's just break it down and start from...
Just over 47 stone was when I kind of first got weighed. I mean, I was bigger than that at some point. But when I finally got on the scales, I was just over 47 stone.
Wow. Okay. Whoa. So in theory, it's an even bigger loss than that.
Yeah. But that's where I kind of start from, because that's when I face the music kind of thing.
When you face the music, well, unbelievable. I mean, I'm blown away by it. Yeah. I mean, what an achievement. And firstly, just hat off to you, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
To be able to sort of turn your life around and sort of make the change. It's truly inspiring. So congratulations, Lee. But let's delve into it and let's talk about it.
Okay.
So where did it start? Where did the sort of weight game begin? Were you a big lad in school?
I was always a big lad. I mean, literally every year I would go up a year in age. I would go up a stone. So at 11, I was 11 stone, 12. So right the way through till my teens, my early teens, I was always a big lad. And then had an accident at work when I was 21.
Okay.
Knackered my legs, and I was housebound for 16 years.
16 years.
Just under 16 years. And then all you do is eat, because I literally did not leave the house for 16 years. And I couldn't stand to cook, so it was just takeaways 3 times a day and just silly amounts of food, because just boredom. And at the time, my mum was housebound too. So we were as bad as each other. We were just kind of feeding off each other. And that's where it all happened. It just piled up. Because I wasn't active at all. I was literally just sitting there in a chair, both legs bandaged up. So I couldn't actually do anything. So it was literally just a sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kind of all went from there.
Do you mind if I ask, mate, what the accident was? Was it?
I used to be a retail manager, and we had a YGS guy, and we used to have a truck for lifting washing machines up onto top shelves. And the one day he was prattling about, and he swung it round, and he took a chunk out the back of my leg. And I'm terrible. I did the usual bloke thing. I never ever get to the doctors until I got up the one morning and put my leg out of bed, and I thought something doesn't feel right. And when I looked down, my whole leg had turned green. So I went to the doctors, and she called me a few choice words. But I carried on working for 2 years after that because mine was the only income in the house, so I had to work. So I was kind of on my feet 14 hours a day with this hole in the back of my leg, and it just kicked off lymphedema. And then both legs just exploded with it, and it was just horrendous.
Okay. What is lymphedema?
Basically, you have a series of lymph glands throughout your body, and they take all the toxins through your skin, basically. And basically, the ones below my waist stop working. So all that fluid gets trapped in your legs and builds up between the layers in your legs. And my legs can be 2 or 3 times their normal size. Like even now, when the sun's hot, my legs swell up massive, and I can't get out. It's pretty bad. But how?
Wow. Okay. And so then that led you to sort of this sedentary lifestyle, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was it. I was just sitting there. It was just sitting there 24 hours a day. And that's it. The only people I ever saw was nurses that came in to change the bandages on my legs, and that was it. So, and it's weird. I went from having a really good job in retail management and earning a lot of money and being surrounded by friends to losing the money, and within 3 months that all vanished. And there's like nobody that I had back then. People that I went to university with and college with that I thought would be with me for life, they all vanished as soon as the money dried up. So you kind of start appreciating everything else about life instead of money. You know, it's not worth anything. It's nice to have, but there's more important things out there.
And your health being
that's it. Yeah. I say it's not a single person from back then that I've got in my life now because they all just vanished. Yeah, it makes you appreciate the people you have got around and the real friends kind of thing, and the ones I've made along the way.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. And I'm so sorry to hear that happened. What happened? And I mean, it must have been tough. And
mentally, it messes with your head mentally because you can't do anything, and you're literally just sitting there and you're just bored out your brain. So all you do is eat, and mentally is really tough. Even now, when I go out now, I take thousands of photographs, and the missus will go mad at me because I'm taking loads of photographs. But to me, they're all memories, and it's always in the back of my head. If I have to go back to that I've got those memories then. So I've always got photographs. And it annoys her a bit because I do take a lot of photographs, but it's just something I do, and it still sticks with me now.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you've been in a place where you didn't have that and you weren't able to make memories, then I get that entirely.
Yeah. And I've kind of been told that I'm going to lose my legs at some point. So I know at some point I'm going to be housebound again. So I'm kind of enjoying it while I can and making those memories. So
just going back, mate, when you had this accident at work, roughly what did you sort of weigh then? Because if you're on your feet for...
I was about 21 stone.
Okay.
So, yeah but I was a big lad. Yeah.
Are you quite tall as well?
About 6 foot.
Yeah.
But
so...
So I've always been stocky, but I say I've always worked, I worked mad hours. I used to work 60, 70 hours a week some weeks, being in retail. So I was always kind of active, even though I was big. Until I had the accident.
And then, I think, it's a hard question, I think, but I think a lot of people have been thinking it. Like, I remember getting to a point, because I'm a lot shorter than you, so, my heaviest, it would have been very different. But I do remember getting to a point where I just thought, I need to sort this out. Like, when you get to sort of 30, and I fully appreciate, mate, the situation you're in where you can't go to the gym, you can't go for a walk. You're really unfortunate in that. But what were your sort of thoughts then? What was going through your head at that point? Because you must have known you were getting bigger and bigger.
I just didn't care, to be fair. I'd lost all kind of self-respect, I guess. I was just eating, and that was it. It was just living meal to meal because I couldn't do anything else. And
that was the only
really
pleasure, was it?
Place. Yeah, it's the only thing. It was mad hours of the day as well. I mean, you can order takeaways at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's too easy these days to get food. So it doesn't matter what time of the day or night, you can get something delivered, and that's the way I was living. And it was literally meal to meal, and it was not good. And I say my mum was ill at the time as well, and she was the same. So, and we kind of fed off each other. We were now good together. So,
Yeah.
that was back then.
I think that makes it really hard as well when it's not just you and you're feeding into each other's bad habits and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
She wanted a takeaway. She'd guilt trip me into having a takeaway because if I didn't have one, she couldn't have one. And it's just like that. And it just goes on, and you just give up in the end.
Yeah.
Where was that moment where you decided I need to do something about this? How did that come about?
As mad as it sounds, I'd tried all sorts to kind of get my legs back into any kind of reasonable shape. And a friend of mine was working at a medical research company, and she said, "We've just invented this bandage, give it a try, and you can be one of our test subjects." So she sent me some of these bandages through, and it worked. And my legs started to heal. So then I kind of got back on my feet, slowly but surely, and it could all kind of stem from there. If she hadn't have sent these bandages, I probably wouldn't be here now. I mean, I was told I wouldn't live past 35, because of my size. So if she hadn't have sent me these bandages and they hadn't have worked, I don't think I'd actually be here now. And it all sort of stemmed from there, and then I just started, and I've just kind of carried on. I mean, it took years. It's not something that's happened overnight, but yeah, I'm getting there slowly.
Fantastic. So that was the pivotal moment, shall we say, that your legs started to heal.
Yeah,
So I
and
guess
then
you got a bit more mobile.
Yeah, and then I say it all stems from there really. If she hadn't sent me those bandages, who knows?
Wow. What was it like having that freedom again? Because at that weight, it's hard to move around, right?
I still didn't move a great deal. I didn't like going out of the house. People had to force me to go out of the house. I just didn't want to go anywhere. That's why there's now photographs of me. I know I've got photographs of me when I was kind of 47 stone, but anything before that, there's no photographs because I just did not like myself. I did not like the look of myself. Did not want anything to do with myself, really. I just had to kind of force my way through it and then just start going out bit by bit and take it a day as it comes, really.
Yeah, no. And then, so your legs start to heal and you start to sort of take care of yourself that bit more.
Yeah.
And then what happens with your diet and your eating habits? So up until this point, you're on sort of 3 takeaways a day on average.
Yeah, they kind of started stopping. I'm not going to say they stopped completely, but
No.
more cooking, more healthy eating, and trying the best anyway. And then I kind of got down to 30, 32 stone, and the doctors are like, "You're not actually going to get any lower yourself because your mobility is not good." So then I was offered a gastric bypass.
Okay.
So I had a bypass just over 10 years ago, and it worked for a while, but I had no backup support with it at all. It was literally a conveyor belt. They had me in, did the op, sent me home the next day, and I've only had one follow-up appointment since then.
Wow.
And that was after 6 weeks. And then 5 years down the line, they got in touch with me and said, "You kind of fell through the cracks and we found your records. How are you?" By that time, I'd put all the weight back on because you find ways of doing it. And I was just not in a good place. And then they're like, "We'll get you back on track. We'll sort it and everything else." And that was the last I heard from them 5 years ago. There was just no backup support at all. And I found that on a couple of the support forums for the university hospital where I had it done, it seems to be very hit or miss. You either get really good support or you get no support at all. And unfortunately, I was one of the ones that no support. So all the weight I lost back then, I put straight back on, basically. I'd lost about 6 stone. I'd got myself down to kind of 24, 25 stone. And then I stopped going to Slimming World and I piled it all back on. And it goes on a hell of a lot quicker than it comes off. So there's been big ups and downs. But the gastric bypass didn't work for me at all. People think it's a kind of one fix cures all, and it doesn't. Unless you deal with the emotional reasons why you're overeating and why you're stuffing that food in your gob, you're never going to get anywhere. And that was the case with me. It just did not work.
So just to explain for people that are listening to this and might not know what a bypass is. So a bypass, my understanding of it, mate, is that they literally cut the size of your stomach, and then they run another feed, if you like, around
a smaller pouch.
Yeah, by bypassing part of your digestion system. So I don't know many people that have had a bypass, but the ones that I do, they sort of describe if you eat chocolate, you puke.
Yeah, you get a thing called dumping syndrome. And it's different with everybody, and you have to be careful of recipes changing and stuff like that. Like a tin of tomato soup, I used to eat tomato soup. Then the one day I had a tin of soup and I was throwing my guts up, and it's almost like having a heart attack. You get cold sweats, you're exhausted, and you basically bring everything back up, but you can't actually be sick. So you bring it all back up through your mouth, basically. It's horrible. And there's lots of things that do that to me. So I've had to cut all them out, kind of thing. And there's lots of things I can't eat anymore. I can't eat any kind of red meat. Fish I struggle with. And my diet now is pretty much fruit and chicken. That is pretty much all I can eat. And that's all I can manage. So there's massive changes. But I know in myself that my bypass hasn't worked, because you can stretch the pouch, basically. And that's what I've done. And I've stretched it, and it basically becomes like you're on another stomach. So you end up with no restrictions at all. And what you tend to find, it's quite high. About 95% of people that have a gastric bypass swap one addiction for another. So you find a hell of a lot of them become alcoholics, because it's a quick way of getting in the calories that you want. And I've had friends that unfortunately have died, and all sorts that, have gone down that route. And I know at least 6 people that have had gastric bypasses, and none of them have actually worked long term. It doesn't work unless you deal with the mental side of things. And unfortunately, the medical profession don't seem to deal with that. They have you on a conveyor belt, get you into the op, send you home, and that's it. Wash your hands with you.
We're always looking for like cheap, easy, quick solutions, aren't we? Like,
Yeah,
and I think it's the
there is
same with the jabs now. You see these jabs, the Monjaros and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, you take the jab, you lose your appetite, you lose weight. But what then? Like,
Yeah.
when you come off that
When
jab,
you start eating again and your metabolism slowed down, it's really bad.
yeah, you need to, like you said, the habits that, and I struggle with this, and I'm sure Mark does, and we all do, don't we? That it's those habits that we need to change, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so the bypass unfortunately hasn't worked then. I
No.
mean, and you say you can expand your stomach back, but there must still be an element of that assisting the weight loss.
Yeah, there's still that element there in that I can't eat a lot of stuff, which that helps. I'm limited to what I can eat. So, I can't go out and eat burgers. I can't have the takeaways and all that kind of stuff. I've not had alcohol since I had my bypass, so I've managed to avoid that totally. And fizzy pop I can tolerate now, but when I first had the bypass, I couldn't. So that's one thing that I'm trying to cut out again. But it's all just small steps, but it does restrict you on what you can eat. So in that respect, it does help the diet, but it's not the fix that everybody thinks it is.
Yeah. So you lost 6 stone. Was this with the bypass? And then
With the
got to a
bypass.
point, and then you got to a point where
It just
stopped-
wasn't working.
it stopped working, and you piled it back on. So then where did you go from there? What kind of weight did you hit at that point, and where did you go from there?
Probably up to about 36, 37 stone then. Probably a little bit more then, actually. So then I went back to Slimming World. Well, went to Slimming World.
Okay.
And that's working for me now. Now it's worked and it hasn't worked over the years. I've been going and coming, leaving, going back, leaving, piling on, taking it off kind of thing. But this time I've gone back and I've a totally different attitude to it, and I've totally changed my mindset. I don't have treat days anymore, which is the one thing. Always used to on the way day, it'll be a treat day. But my problem was that I'd have one treat day, then it'd become 2, then it'd become 3, and then I'd go into a panic mode because I've just had 3 days of eating crap. So then I'd starve myself for 4 days and just to lose a pound kind of thing. And I'm not doing that now. I'm doing it slow and steady, and it's working this time really well for me. And that's what I'm on now. So it's working. I've been going 18 weeks, I think, and I've lost 3.5 stone. Got a 3.5 stone award today. So it's slow and steady, but that's how I want to do it now. I've got to.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
definitely. So that's the last 3.5 stone. And where are you? So you've lost a total of just under 26 stone.
Yeah.
So where are you now then?
As of today, I'm 21 stone 2.
Nice. Okay.
So incredible.
Yeah, I bet those pictures are incredibly
Before
different.
and afters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a bit scary when I look at them.
And where do you want to get to?
I don't know. That's what I keep saying to people. I don't know. I've set my original target at 20 stone, and I'll see where I go from there. I'm quite lucky that I haven't got a lot of excess skin, which a lot of people at my side have got a lot of excess skin. I mean, my arms and my legs are really skinny, and everybody takes the mick because I've got no excess skin at all. But I'll see where I go, because I know I'm going to have some around my belly and places like that. So if I can get down to, I reckon, about 18 stone, I reckon that'll kind of be my limit. Because I'm getting married next year, so I want to get it do for then, basically.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Cheers.
well done, mate. Congratulations. So, how did you meet your partner, mate?
Plenty of fish, would you believe?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary, but yeah.
Nice.
She's a mad Welsh woman, but yeah.
And was that sort of during your journey, or was it before?
Yeah, no, we were laughing about it the other day because she didn't realise when I first met her, I was in like 8XL shirts. And I've got them now, and they're burying me. I mean, there's a photograph of the two of us in one of my shirts from back then, and she
Wow.
never realised that I was that kind of size, which is good. She saw past it kind of thing, which is good. But she's very supportive, and it's great.
Did you find that your confidence when it comes to females, if you like, started improving as you were going through your journey?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when I was a lot bigger, I would avoid them. You know, I'd stuffed as it sounds. I'd get offers, and I'd just back away. I'd just run, basically. I just didn't want to see anybody. Just, I didn't want them to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. And yeah, so we're now sort of with the help of Slimming World, sort of hitting some consistency, I guess is probably a good way to describe it. So what does your diet look like? You sort of mentioned chicken and fruit, but let's take it for a day. What would your breakfast look like?
Breakfast, I eat fruit. I have strawberries on cereal. Dinner, I'll probably just have a cup of soup or something like that. And then I'll have my evening meal, which is chicken. It's really low calorie, which is working. And I don't feel hungry anymore, which I used to. So it's working. And I've had to cut out all the treats. I don't have any treats, no chocolate, nothing like that, no cakes, no crisps, because I just can't. Because I know in my head, if I have it once, I'm going to crave it again and again and again, and I can't, because that's how I'll go back to where I was.
Yeah.
So I've had total cold turkey. So for 18 weeks, I've had no crisps, no chocolate, nothing at all. I just cut it all out, and I've had to do that. And no takeaways, no pub meals. I've cut the lot out.
Okay.
But I've had to, and it's working for me.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do takeaways on Slimming World, isn't it? If you're staying within your sort of sin allowance.
Yeah, you can't really do it.
No. And they try and give you a guide and stuff like that, but you look through it and you're like, well, basically a salad.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. You're having a takeaway, aren't you? It's kind of flies in the face of it.
That's it. Plus, I just can't eat that amount anymore. If I bite, I'd end up chucking it away because the amount I can actually eat, my pouch is obviously restricted again. It's gone smaller again. So the amount I can eat is pretty minimal. So it's all kind of working together now in going in the right direction.
Yeah. And does that, it's just more out of curiosity, but would having a takeaway now almost kind of trigger some sort of trauma almost?
I guess in ways it would, because I'd force it down, and I can't do that. I would make myself sick to eat it, because I was always brought up that you don't waste food. We had a real limited income. We weren't wealthy, so you never left food on your plate. So I would force it down and then probably throw it all up. So I just don't do it. I can't do it. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, that's it, isn't it? Ultimately,
I think it's really interesting when you look at like the habits formed in childhood. When you look at obesity, it's like some of my friends grew up with the attitude of, you finish when you fall, and it does make a big difference when you get older.
Yeah.
Something we're trying to instill with our children now. Well, if you're full, you're full, but you're not having snacks. You wait until lunch or whatever. Well, we try to. But mate, what's it like now with your? I'm conscious that your legs, it's not like they're magically better and you're playing football, running around and stuff. But are you a lot more active now than you were?
Yeah, I'm a lot more active. I get out a lot. I learned to drive 6 years ago. That's something I'd always wanted to do. So now I run a big Volkswagen owners group. So that's very active. We've got a camper van, go camping, do a lot of charity work. So I am always active. I never sleep. I only sleep every few days. I'll get a couple of hours probably every 3 or 4 days. And that's just through habit. So I'm always up during the night organising stuff, and keeps me active. Yeah.
Is that because of your legs or just?
And no, what it was is my mum was ill. So we bought my mum's bedroom downstairs, and she used to sleep in the one living room. So I'd find myself staying awake all night in case she needed me. And it just became habit, and it's just stuck. And that's just something I can't get out of. I've tried all sorts. It just doesn't work. I just go for a few days and then I'll crash and then I'm back on my feet again.
Wait, that's a good point, actually, because when you do sleep, I imagine at 47 stone, it's not that easy.
No.
Where were you sleeping in a bed at that weight?
No. I still don't sleep in a bed, to be fair. I don't. I can't. My legs will cause a lot of pain, so I do sleep sitting up. So, and that's something I've always done. And I know it's not good for me, But I genuinely can't sleep lying down. It's been that long and it hurts my legs that much now that I can't do it.
Yeah, and that's probably not helping with a good routine when it comes to sleep as well. Because
No, exactly.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, crazy. And so, yeah, I'm just sort of curious now. So we've lost this weight. You've got a goal in mind, and have you got people around you sort of keeping you accountable?
Yeah. I've got a really good bunch of friends now, especially through the Volkswagen group. I've got a lot of backup, a lot of support, and they're all with me. And I've started putting posts on Facebook about my weight loss because I didn't for a long time. So now I'm kind of tracking it each week and I'm getting a lot of support, which really helps. They probably don't appreciate how much it does help, but it does.
Yeah.
And it really kind of spurs you on to want to do more. So
I think that alone sort of keeps you accountable, doesn't it? Because if you then start piling it back on,
yeah,
people will see, people will notice, and it's like, yeah. And I think again, like for us, we do Man v Fat. We go to play football once a week, and we have to weigh in every week.
yeah,
And so that kind of holds us to account as well.
that's it. That's why I like Slimming World, because I have to go and I have to face the music. I tried doing it at home and you just lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you kid yourself that you're actually doing it right. And when you look, you're not following a plan. You're not doing it right. You're just doing the basics and hoping for the best. So, yeah, I like Slimming World and I like having to face that music once a week and know where I stand.
Yeah.
And I have had a couple of games along the way where my legs have swelled up and things like that. And I have to kind of keep that in my head now, because before I would really play in my head and I'd go in and I'd stuck to plan all week and I've gained 3 or 4 pounds. And that would really throw a wobble kind of thing. But now I keep in my head it's long term. So yes, it's on this week, but when my legs swelling goes down, it'll come back off. So it's a total different attitude this time, and it's really helping me.
Yeah, and I think it's all about the long term results, isn't it? It's difficult to sort of like monitor it week to week. It's looking at that trajectory or downward trajectory. I guess is that the expression, but that downward trend.
And learning not to compete with other people, which is something I used to do. I used to when I did Slimming World originally. Sometimes I'd lose 7 or 8 pounds in a week, and you know you think that's great, and then when it starts dropping off, and you're only doing £2 a week, and you're constantly comparing yourself to other people that are then doing 7 or 8 pounds, you kind of feel like a failure. And I've had to kind of program myself now to it's my journey, it's my weight loss, and that's all I need to focus on. Nobody else. As long as I'm doing what I need to do, then that's it.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I think we've all been there, and sort of like you've had a good week, you think you've hit everything right, and then you've only lost a pound, or even say you've just lost a pound, and you're beating yourself up. You're thinking, well, I've worked really hard for this. What's going on?
And there's Tina that's come in, and she's been to the pub 3 days, had 5 takeaways, and has lost 6 pounds. And it's like, you know, it does mess with your head. But I've had to stop all that as well. Yeah.
But I think people underestimate though, like the long game, because like if you lost £2 a week for a year, that's
it.
That's a lot of weight, actually.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to that thing where we want immediate results all the time, don't we? With everything in life, I think. But actually, you know, this time last year doesn't feel like that long ago. But I always try and think that when I'm on a diet. Actually, a pound, you know, they say £1 to £2 a week is quite a healthy amount of weight to lose as well.
Yeah, that's it. And like you say, it does mount up over the year.
Yeah. So what was your weigh in this week then? What was your latest weigh in?
2.5 off today. And
today was it? Fantastic.
Yeah, today, and I got my 3.5 stone award, so I'm happy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And we've had a Slimming World expert on before. I don't know if you've listened to that episode, but that was a really popular one actually. I'll send you a link to it after this. It was a really good episode. But yeah, I guess a thing that the big discussion point when we had Slimming World on was certainly for myself, I'm less so Darren, because Darren's followed it in the past, but I always just saw it was a group for middle-aged women. It never really seemed like a place for blokes. What's your thoughts on that?
It's hard to walk through the door originally because that is how you feel. But there are a couple of blokes. There's not many, but there's a couple. And yeah, it is hard being like the group I go to now. I think there's 2 blokes go there every week. So there's a bit of support, but I just get on with the women, to be fair. It's a laugh. We all get on together. Really supportive group I'm in now. And everybody's happy when you lose weight. The support has been fantastic. It's really helping.
That's awesome, that is.
I think there's definitely more men now than what there was perhaps,
Oh
when it
yeah, definitely.
first established. But it's they're quite clearly quite keen to make it inclusive of men as well.
Yeah, definitely. They're like Men of the Year and things like that. Everything that they do for the women, they do for the men. So, they are trying to get more men in, and it is helping.
And one of the things, because I've done it many years ago now, to be honest, Man v Fat, I think, is almost, it's very much for men only, and it's a very different thing. I think Slimming World was actually part of the thinking behind the creating of it. But anyway, one of the things that I did like about Slimming World was the fact that some of the meals that you cook don't feel like diet meals. They're really
No, that's it.
like I said, it's a good 10 years. 10 years on, we will still make the Slimming World spaghetti bolognese if we have that for dinner. Just because it's fresh, it's healthy.
There's a hell of a lot of recipes that you can do that don't feel like the slimming. And like I say, if you're hungry, you're doing something wrong. So, and that's true, because you can load up on the free foods and the extra easy stuff, and it helps. It's really good.
Yeah, and the whole point of it is to get you into a healthier lifestyle. So with your sins,
healthier eating.
Yeah, I used to eat what are those yogurts? Like a Miller
Light
yogurt. That's it. Used to eat one of them every day. I think that was sin free back then. And then I used to have something like a curly whirly or a little egg, stuff like that. And you can do that within your daily allowance. And you're right. I remember going there one week thinking, God, I've had a chocolate bar every day and still losing 3 pounds that week. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it's quite successful, because
definitely it's all about balance, isn't it? As long as you have what you have in moderation, you're fine.
Yeah. I think what I liked about it, when we interviewed Scott on the podcast, it was our Slimming World rep. It wasn't a focus on what you couldn't eat. It was actually, let's focus on all the things you can eat.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, there was much more emphasis on that. So that straight away, it didn't come across restrictive, which obviously lots of other diet plans are very much like that. And that was a thing that really opened my eyes to it, I think, at that point.
Yeah. And it's, I know you'll like this, Mark. It's, it ultimately is just eating very limited processed food and a lot of fresh food, a lot of unprocessed. And that's essentially what the diet is, if you look at it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I've got to say about ultra processed food?
Let's move on.
I'm not going to rant about that again.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's awesome. And so but no, it's great to have you on, Lee. What would be your message to sort of guys that are maybe in your situation, sort of 15, 16 years ago, housebound, piling on weight, struggling? What would be your message to them?
Just start, because if you don't start, you're never going to get anywhere. Just don't become sedentary. Just move a little. Do what you can do, and it will just get better and better as you move on. Simple as that. It'll take years. It took you years to get that big. You're not going to lose that weight overnight. So just stick with it and think of the long-term goals.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great advice. And actually, that's, I've noticed this, Mark, when we talk to our weight loss losers, that's almost like the first thing that comes out of everyone's mouth is just do it. Just get going. Just start now.
That's it.
And do the ride.
Yeah. You've got nobody to account to apart from yourself at the end of the day. If you're not doing it, you're damaging your own health. Nobody can do it for you. So you have to do it. And it's just how much you want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, you won't. And you have to be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
No, brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Absolutely.
And just a final thing to finish off, mate, and apologies, but is your weight loss helping with your legs, with your medical condition? Is it?
Not really. That's something that's kind of ongoing. I know I'll lose my legs at some point, but at the moment they're still attached, so I'm out enjoying myself. When I went for a scan, because I've got lymphedema and then I developed peripheral neuropathy, which means all the nerve endings are basically damaged. And I went for the scan, and her exact words were, "Don't expect to end your life with your legs." And I was like, okay. And that kind of gives you a bit of an incentive, because, I can either sit there and mope about it, or I can go out and enjoy it while I can. I mean, it could be 20 years down the line. Fingers crossed it'll never happen. But it's always in the back of my head that it could. So anything I can do to kind of keep active and lose the weight and the less weight I'm carrying, it will help. It helps and it doesn't, because when it's sunny and my legs swell up like crazy, it's mad. But then other times my legs will be quite good. So it helps in respect that I'm carrying less weight, so that'll help. But I know in the long term what's going to happen, basically. So it's kind of hit or miss, but yeah, but it's what it is.
Yeah. Well, mate, congratulations. That is a hell of an achievement. You're officially one of our losers, weight loss losers.
You're our biggest loser to date, certainly.
I'm not sure that's a good thing, being called the biggest loser, but okay. I'll take that on the chins. Yeah.
On this show, it is. We're the podcast that celebrates losers.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, on this show, very much so.
Yeah, and you're definitely top of that weight loss league, mate. So congratulations. And
Thank you.
To pull yourself out of that, mate, I think is truly inspiring. I really do, because, it must have been horrific, and sat there with that medical condition, with that weight, like you say, in that stage with your mental health, and to pull yourself out of it is remarkable. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, take my hat off to you, mate, and congratulations, and long may it continue.
Cheers.
Just go live your life, mate. Make the most of your legs while you've got them.
That's it.
Yeah. Enjoy every moment of it, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Lee, and all the best, mate.
Cheers.